Have you ever wondered how Japanese schools churn out disciplined, hardworking students? It's not only about rigorous academics or talented teachers, it's also about the rules. Some of these regulations may sound outlandish, quirky, or even overboard to outsiders, but maybe there's some magic in these meticulously crafted guidelines. Join us as we have a look at 20 Japanese school rules you won't believe actually exist. Number 1. The World of Japanese Schools, a primer. In the heart of Japan's bustling cities and serene countryside, schools stand as pillars of discipline, knowledge, and culture. The Japanese education system, highly regarded worldwide, blends tradition with modern pedagogical techniques to create a unique learning environment. From elementary to high school, students undergo a holistic training designed not only to impart academic knowledge, but also to instill values, ethics, and a strong sense of community. Discipline, respect, and diligence are the cornerstones of this system, and they're evident in every aspect of school life, from the morning assembly to the classroom etiquette. But it's not all about being stern and serious. Students learn to celebrate their culture, express their creativity, and nurture friendships, making school life a mixture of discipline and delightful experiences. As we dive into this peculiar rule set that governs this system, it's essential to understand that each rule, no matter how quirky it may be, serves a purpose that's rooted in creating well-rounded individuals. Number 2. First impressions matter. The uniform. The iconic Japanese school uniform, it's not just any old clothing, it's a symbol of identity, unity, and pride. In Japan, the school uniform is more than just a dress code, representing the very ethos of the school and its traditions. Each school's uniform is meticulously designed, keeping in mind the legacy, climate, and, believe it or not, the latest fashion trends. While variations do exist, the commitment to presentation remains unwavering. The importance placed upon the uniform extends to its maintenance as well. Every wrinkle, stain, or misaligned button can earn a reprimand, but why such the fuss? Well, because in the Japanese ethos, the way that you present yourself reflects your respect for others and your environment. Students learn early on that dressing neatly is not only about looking good, it's also about showcasing discipline, respect, and dedication, values that are deeply embedded in the Japanese way of life. Number 3. Hairstyles and personal appearance. When it comes to hairstyles in Japanese schools, the mantra seems to be less is more. Simplicity is the key here, with a strong preference for natural hair color and traditional style. But don't expect to see a classroom full of rainbow-colored locks or outrageous punk spikes. Those are reserved for anime and manga. Instead, most schools will have strict regulations to ensure that students sport a haircut that's neat, tidy, and free from excessive styling. For girls, long hair has to be tied back, ensuring that it doesn't become a distraction, and for the boys, overly long or shaggy hair is generally a no-no. While these guidelines may seem stringent, they aim to reduce distractions while maintaining a sense of uniformity. It's not all about control, though. It subtly instills the value of presenting oneself with dignity while understanding that personal choices, like a hairstyle, has a time and a place. Number 4. Shoes and the fascination with indoor footwear. Stepping into a Japanese school, one of the first things you'll notice is the impeccable floors, and there's a cultural reason behind their cleanliness. Shoes that have trotted through the streets don't belong inside. Hence, upon entering, students will switch their outdoor shoes for indoor footwear, usually a pair of comfortable and white canvas shoes. This practice roots in the more broad Japanese tradition of changing into house slippers when entering a home. It's a sign of respect, keeping the dirt of the outside world out from sullying the sanctity of the indoor space. In schools, it serves a dual purpose, maintaining cleanliness and symbolizing the transition from the outer world to a space of learning and discipline. So the next time you see those neat rows of shoes outside of a Japanese classroom, know that it's not only about hygiene, it's also a ritual that's deeply embedded in both respect and tradition. Number 5. Cleanliness is next to schooliness? Have you ever heard the phrase, "many hands make light work"? Well, nowhere is this more prevalent than in a Japanese school at cleaning time. It may come as a surprise to some, but there are no janitors in most of these institutions. Instead, the students take on the responsibility, ensuring classrooms, corridors, and even restrooms are spick and span. Armed with brooms, dustpans, and rags, they sweep, mop, and scrub their learning spaces, making it a daily communal ritual. This isn't only a cost-cutting measure, it's a lesson in humility, responsibility, and teamwork. Cleaning their surroundings teaches students to respect their environment while valuing the shared surroundings that they inhabit. And if you're wondering about the occasional ink stain or gum under the table, chances are the perpetrator would think twice, knowing they'll be the one cleaning it up later. Number 6. Meals and manners at school. Lunchtime at a Japanese school is an orchestrated affair, miles apart from the noisy and chaotic scenes that one might imagine. Before the meal, a chorus of gratitude resonates, setting the tone. The menu is often balanced and nutritious, and is served by the students themselves, donning aprons and caps. Unlike many places where children bring their lunch from home or even buy it, many Japanese schools will provide a communal lunch. And it's not only about eating, it's also a lesson in etiquette and gratitude, along with community. Spilling, wasting food, or even elbows on the table can all be frowned upon. After the meal, another chorus is rung out that concludes the ritual. Through these practices, students will learn not only the value of food, but also the importance of mindful consumption and appreciation. Number 7. The school bag, more than just a fashion statement. The bag that's carried by Japanese students is not only another school bag, it's an emblem of a student's journey. Traditionally made of leather and now available in various materials, its design has remained surprisingly consistent over the years. Sturdy with a firm backing and clasps in the front, the bag is designed to distribute the weight of books evenly, promoting good posture. Beginning their schooling journey, children will receive this bag, which is expected to last all throughout their elementary years. The choice of color once strictly adhered to gender norms, with boys carrying black or navy and girls donning red. However, times are changing, and now a rainbow of colors are available. The bag's significance is not only about function, it's a rite of passage, symbolizing the beginning of a child's formal education. As the bag endures scrapes, rain, and daily wear and tear, it bears witness to a student's growth, challenges, and achievements. Number 8. Silence is golden. Rules around speaking. Japanese schools may seem like places of strict discipline, and in many ways they are. Conversations during class, unsurprisingly, are not encouraged unless it's an active participation in the lesson. This respect for silence extends to the hallways during class time hours, creating an environment that's conducive to concentration. But what about mobile phones? Most schools have a straightforward policy. Phones should be turned off and stored in the locker during school hours. Even during the breaks, use of phones for calls and games is restricted. Instead, students are encouraged to interact face-to-face, fostering genuine connections and communication skills. These rules, while stringent, emphasize respect for the learning process, the teachers, and classmates, along with oneself. It's a reminder that in the age of constant chatter and digital distraction, sometimes silence indeed is golden. Number 9. Extracurricular activities, more than just clubs. For many Japanese students, the school day does not end when the final bell rings. Instead, it's only the beginning of another essential facet of their education. Extracurricular activities, from sports like kendo and judo to arts like calligraphy and music, these clubs play a pivotal role in the holistic development of a student. And you may be thinking, clubs exist everywhere. What's so special about Japan? In Japan, joining a club is not only an option, it's almost an unwritten rule. Participation is seen as a commitment, a pledge to hone a skill, foster teamwork, and imbue a sense of dedication. Skipping or half-heartedly participating is not taken lightly. The skills learned, the friendships forged, and the challenges overcome during these hours extend far beyond the confines of the school, preparing students for life's bigger challenges. Number 10. Respecting the seasons, changing with nature. Japanese culture has a deep-rooted reverence for nature, and this admiration beautifully entwines with school rules. As seasons change, so do certain aspects of school life. In summer, students may be allowed to bring fans or wear a more cool uniform, acknowledging the scorching heat. Conversely, in wintertime, guidelines will permit warmer attire and even heated tables in some communal areas. Seasonal events and festivals like Sakura, viewing in spring or autumn leaves appreciation, are sometimes integrated into the school calendar. It's not only about comfort or aesthetics, it's a lesson in adaptability. a nudge for students to stay in tune with nature's rhythms while understanding that change is the only constant. In imbibing these lessons, students not only learn to adapt to nature, but they learn to both respect and celebrate it. Number 11. Tests, tests, and more tests. For many in the Western world, the word test might induce a slight shudder or flashback to stressful cramming sessions, but in Japanese schools, tests are more routine than exception. From periodic assessments to evaluate understanding to the high-stakes entrance exams dictating university and high school admissions, tests are integral to the system. It's not just about memorization or rote learning. These tests will often challenge a student's critical thinking and problem-solving abilities. The frequency might seem overwhelming, but there's a method to the madness. Regular assessments mean that students stay on top of their studies, reducing last-minute cramming. Furthermore, the sheer practice of taking a test helps students to build resilience, time management skills, and the ability to handle stress. By the time the major exams roll around, they've mastered not only the content, but the art of test-taking itself. Number 12. Rituals and school events. Every culture has its ceremonies, and Japanese schools are no exception. These rituals, punctuating the academic year, offer a break from the daily grind and infuse a sense of tradition and community. The entrance ceremony welcomes new students, while the graduation ceremony is a heartfelt farewell. Then there's the sports day, where the entire school comes together for an athletic event, showcasing teamwork and school spirit. And who could forget the cultural festivals? These events are more than just fun and games. They come with their own set of rules, from how students should present themselves to the roles that they play. And through these events, students not only learn about their rich cultural heritage, but also about responsibility, organization, and the joy of collective celebration. Number 13. Attendance and punctuality. In the land of the rising sun, the sun itself could likely use a wristwatch to match the punctuality of its people. Japanese schools are no different. Here, punctuality is not only appreciated, it's a demand. Arriving late is not only a minor inconvenience, but a major faux pas. The first lesson that many students will learn, often without it being explicitly taught, is the value of time. Missing the morning assembly or arriving late to class is not merely about missing out on what was said or done. It's perceived as a sign of disrespect to the time of others. Moreover, regular attendance is not up for debate. Of course, exceptions are made for genuine health concerns or emergencies, but otherwise, every day missed is a day of learning lost. These stringent rules are not about creating a regimented system, but instilling values of respect, discipline, and the significance of education in young minds. Number 14. Beyond the school, rules for the way home. Once the final bell rings and students pour out of school, you would think the rules would end at the gate. But think again. In many Japanese schools, students' behavior outside the premises is seen as a reflection of the institution. Hence, there are often guidelines on how one should commute. Walking in large and noisy groups, well, that's a big no-no. Visiting entertainment places in school uniforms, that is frowned upon. Even things such as etiquette on public transport are touched upon, and it's not only about surveillance or control, but instead, a gentle reminder that being a student is a full-time role, and representing one school is a matter of pride and responsibility. It emphasizes the belief that education is not confined to the classroom. The world outside is an equally significant teacher. Number 15. Relationships and friendships. In the intricate tapestry of school life, relationships and friendships form the most vibrant threads. Japanese schools, with their strong emphasis on community, foster close-knit bonds. Friendships are cherished, but like all aspects of school life, there's a framework. Exclusive or isolating groupings are a serious concern, and schools actively promote inclusive behavior. Romantic relationships, while not banned, are subtly discouraged during school years, primarily to keep students focused on academics. Public displays of affection, such as holding hands or hugging, are quite rare and can be considered inappropriate within school grounds. The emphasis here is not on limiting relationships, but upon promoting respectful, healthy interactions. It's a balance that ensures that while students form deep connections, they also maintain the decorum that the environment demands. Number 16. Break times and recreations. The sweet release of the school bell signifies break time. a universal symbol that even in the structured realm of Japanese schools resonates with excitement and relief. But there's a fun twist. Breaks in Japanese schools are not only intervals of leisure, they're moments of structured freedom, an artful blending of relaxation and recreation. As the bell chimes, students do not only scatter aimlessly, many of them rush to windows, throwing them open to let in the fresh air, a practice that's rooted in the belief of rejuvenating both the room and the mind. This brief interlude with nature is an integral part of the Japanese philosophy of appreciating one's surroundings. The playgrounds bustle with activity, and traditional games that feature a toy with a ball and string, and others like badminton, are interspersed with universal favorites like soccer and tag. It's not only about the play, these games will instill discipline, focus, and teamwork, and it becomes a recreation with a purpose. Inside, some of the students will engage in Japanese chess, sharpening their strategic abilities, while others may get into Go, an ancient board game that demands patience and foresight. For those who are more artistically inclined, origami sessions or sketching groups are popular outlets that foster creativity within the confines of the classroom. And of course, for many students, break times are also an opportunity for a quick snack. While snacking rules may vary across schools, the emphasis is always on healthy and unobtrusive munching. Think rice crackers and not crisps, flavored water and not fizzy drinks. It's not all structured. Some students do cherish moments of quiet reflection, a casual chat, or even simply gazing out the window lost in thought. There's respect for individual choice that recognizes that rejuvenation is a deeply personal experience. Number 17. Student Council and Leadership. In the hierarchy of a school, there's a subtle yet significant power structure that often goes unnoticed: the Student Council. In Japanese schools, this is not just a fancy title or an extracurricular checkbox. It's a revered institution symbolizing responsibility, leadership, and the voice of the student body. The inception into the council isn't merely a popularity contest. Candidates are often scrutinized for their dedication, moral integrity, and ability to lead, and elections can be as tense as real-world politics, with speeches, campaigns, and promises of enhancing student life. But once elected, the real work begins. The council acts as the bridge between students and the administration. They are the torchbearers of student concern, the mediators during conflicts, and the organizers of school events. Their duties are diverse, from managing festivals to ensuring discipline. It's all maintained during school assemblies. Their role is accentuated by the special rules that apply to them. A council member must exemplify the epitome of ideal behavior. Punctuality is paramount, uniforms should be impeccable, and their academic records, nothing short of stellar. After all, they're not only representatives, they're also role models. Training workshops, leadership camps, and regular meetings keep them on their toes. It becomes rigorous and demanding. And the rewards are immense. The skills that they acquire, negotiation, leadership, organization, they're all invaluable, transcending school life and preparing them for the challenges of the adult world. Yet, it's not only all about the rules and responsibilities. The camaraderie that's shared within the council, the sense of accomplishment after a successful event, and the appreciation from fellow students all make the journey worth it. Number 18. Health and Wellness Guidelines. Dive into any Japanese school's regimen and you'll swiftly discern an overarching theme: the symbiotic balance between mind and body. While academic excellence is lauded, the health and well-being of students stands paramount. The health and wellness guidelines, meticulously designed and thoughtfully implemented, are a testament to this commitment. It all begins with annual health checks, a ritual almost as entrenched in the school calendar as the final exam. Comprehensive and detailed, these checks encompass everything from vision testing to dental exams, and the objective is clear: early detection and timely intervention. It's not just about physical health, though. With rising concerns about mental well-being, many schools now incorporate psychological assessments, ensuring students have a safe place to voice their anxieties and stressors. Nutrition is another crucial focus. School lunches are a masterclass in balanced diet planning. Prepared under the watchful eye of a licensed nutritionist, these meals are crafted to be wholesome, nutritious, and reflective of dietary guidelines. The menu becomes diverse, ensuring that students are introduced to a plethora of flavors while imbibing essential nutrients. And students will often serve and clean up these meals, fostering responsibility and appreciation for the culinary arts. Physical activity is not only relegated to the confines of a gym class, morning exercises are a common sight, setting the pace for the day with rhythmic synchronized movements. These exercises, often broadcasted over the radio or school PA systems, acts as an energizer, shaking off the morning lethargy while instilling a sense of collective rhythm. Number 19. Holiday and festivals. In Japan, the passing of seasons and the turn of the calendar is punctuated with a tapestry of holidays and festivals, each holding its unique charm and significance. The schools, as microcosms of society, immerse themselves deeply in these cultural rhythms, ensuring that students are not merely passive observers, but active participants in the festivities. It starts off with the New Year. While it's a family-centric celebration, the excitement spills into the schools as students will share their experiences, perhaps of visiting a shrine or the special dishes that they relished. Soon after, as winter wanes and spring beckons, the iconic Sakura, or cherry blossom season, arrives. Schools may organize picnics where students gather under blooming cherry blossom trees, partaking in food, song, and camaraderie. Fast forward to May, and Children's Day is on the horizon. The vibrant carp streams, fluttering in the wind, become a common sight. Schools will often engage students in understanding the symbolism behind these streamers and might even involve them in crafting their own, fostering creativity and cultural appreciation simultaneously. The Star Festival in July is another highlight. Schools turn into hubs of creativity as students write wishes on colorful papers, hanging them on bamboo branches. The ambiance becomes whimsical, with stories of star-crossed lovers Vega and Altair being shared, reminding students of the blending of romance and tradition. Autumn then brings the Cultural Festival, and it's not a national holiday per se, but an integral part of school life. Classrooms will transform into cafes, galleries, or even mini theaters, and it becomes a celebration of creativity and collaboration, with students taking the lead. The cycle ends with Obon in August, a Buddhist event that honors departed ancestors. Schools may take a more reflective approach, discussing the festival's history and its emphasis on familial respect and the cycle of life. Through each of these holidays and festivals, Japanese schools provide a holistic experience, going well beyond mere academics. Students emerge not only with knowledge, but a deep-rooted appreciation for their rich cultural tapestry. Number 20. Graduation and moving on. Graduation ceremonies in Japan are not only about bidding adieu to the school or marking the completion of an academic phase, it's a deeply symbolic rite of passage, representing growth, reflection, and anticipation of the future. Every aspect of the ceremony, from attire to rituals, is imbued with profound significance, reflecting a culture that treasures tradition and the art of transitions. We now commence with the attire. While many around the world may don graduation gowns and caps, in Japan the ensemble can differ. Students may wear the formal school uniform, displaying it one last time with pride. Some schools might have their students don the traditional hakama, which, with its pleated design, reflects maturity and sophistication. But regardless of the dress, there's an unspoken rule. It's a day of elegance and decorum. The atmosphere during the ceremony is one of respectful solemnity. Silence will often envelop the hall, punctuated only by the names of graduating students. The applause that follows, and occasionally a poignant song or two that tugs the heartstrings. And then there are the speeches, by school leaders, teachers, and representative students. They're not only generic words of congratulations, but reflective narratives that often touch upon shared memories, achievements, and challenges overcome with hopes for the future. An intriguing element during these ceremonies is the giving and receiving of certificates. It's not a rushed affair. Each student will be called, and as they approach the stage, there is a bow exchanged, a mark of mutual respect between educator and student. The certificate is received with both hands, a sign of its preciousness, and after the formalities, the ambiance gradually lightens. Students will gather, click photographs, exchange letters, and often share personal words of gratitude with their teachers. Tears flow freely, a mixture of joy, nostalgia, and the overwhelming realization of change. But the undercurrent of the entire event, beneath the rituals and rules, is the spirit of transition. Graduation becomes a bridge from what was to be to what can be, and students will step off the school grounds with memories in tow, not only moving on from a place, but stepping into the vast expanse of life, armed with lessons and values that go well beyond their textbooks.